Hey everybody, welcome back. We're gonna hit one lake and we're gonna hit a piece of river, and I'm gonna show you exactly how great I am at river fishing, okay? And by great, I mean I suck. There's fish all over the river. I can see them and I can't catch them. It's brutal. I can't catch fish in the river. It's just terrible. After that river system, though, we're gonna head up to a lake past Elk Falls, which is past Campbell River. And we're talking about an area that I'm going to go to lots, guys. I'm going to head up to this area lots because there is an awful lot of lakes up there with an awful lot of species of fish. So it had occurred to me that I haven't really done too many descriptive videos about how I'm actually catching these fish in these lakes. So stay tuned for that one. We're going to come up to it later on in the episode. I'm going to show you exactly how to rig it up to slay fish at Beavertail Lake in Campbell River. But before we do that, let's check out what I did on the river with my two friends, Rodney and Dave. And check this intro out, guys. Here we go.
Rodney from Surrey, British Columbia. Rodney enjoys fishing here on Vancouver Island and is immune to poison oak. Dave from Nanaimo, British Columbia. Dave is an avid fisherman and knows the secret to winning at roulette.
Rodney, Dave, if you're watching, I hope you like that intro. All right? That was special for you. Sounded like a goddamn monster truck rally, but anyways, so we're heading to the Stamp River. Now, I spent a large portion of time trying to find out some special locations here on the river. But as I tried to find those locations, I found out quite quickly that, well, logging companies control this area. So before you head out, make sure you look up mosaicforest.com for gates that are open and closed.
How do you own the rainforest? How do you own that?
Well, I guess that's for another video. But hey guys, every time I'm in this area, bears are in the area. Bears are everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. This guy sees him. Yeah, see it? No, wait. If you missed that, we'll go through it again. See him? He saw the bear. He saw the bear. Just acknowledge that the bears are there. They're in the area. You need to be extremely careful. Okay, guys? Where we're going to go, we're going to a place called, quote, Money's Pool, end quote. So I had to put Money's Pool in quotations because it really wasn't Money Pool for me. That much is certain. So all you got to do is go to the end of Angler's Trail. You travel down a road, it gets to a giant mansion. If you went to the mansion, it's too long because right here where the hut is, that's where you got to be at this little makeshift parking lot. So get down to that area and let's check out what it looks like. You know, as I said earlier, I'm not really a great river fisherman. So this is my experience. Over and over and over and over. There. And over. Fuck. Man. Come on. Unfortunately, I had a lot of people giving me great advice.
Yeah. But as soon as we reach the pond, you have to lift because it's so many snag.
Oh, they're out?
Oh, yeah.
How far are they out?
The gentleman was actually trying to teach me how to floss. So I got up my fly line over and over and over again. I kept hooking that thing. It's not working. In fact, I have never caught a fish on this fly, ever. I kind of thought it was due. It was due. No, it's not due. Well, it was really nice hanging out with Rodney and Dave, but after a hard day on the water, it was time to head to the best PA has to offer. After a great night with great beer at the local brewery, we decided to head up to Beavertail Lake. Beavertail Lake is located just north of Campbell River at an elevation of 277 meters, making it a very cold lake. Just like most other lakes in this area, it's on a logging road, so there's going to be a lot of fallen trees and lumber all over the lake, giving it lots of cover for many different species of fish. It has rainbow trout, cutthroat trout, brown trout, dolly varden, and kokanee, all located in this lake.
Around this time, I'm used to sharing with you guys fun facts, history, or stories about the region that I'm fishing at. In this case, I'm just going to tell you that I scouted this area out about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I found a bunch of campers set up, camping and living in this area.
What's wrong with you? This will get messy.
And this is how they left the campsite. Brutal. Just
I fucking hate pikeys.
garbage everywhere. Styrofoam, chairs, beer cans, cardboard, everything has been left out on this campsite. Now, you're not actually allowed to camp here anymore, and I understand why. Because humans do crap like this.
I fucking hate pikeys.
It's unbelievable. So, dear humans, please pick up your trash so I can actually stay at these lakes again and do what I like to do, which is go fishing in the bush. Okay? Thank you very much. And you're welcome. Now we're going to clean up your mess. Here we go.
Never been to an area before, first thing I do is check out the elevation. The elevation can tell you a lot about just what to expect with the water temperature. Easy to do. Just type it in on Google. Elevation of such and such area, such and such lake, or whatever. So definitely very important to check that elevation. Well, obviously you can detect depths by using finders. So there's a whole heck of a lot of different finders that you can use. This is the one I use in the boat. It's a Striker 4 Plus from Garmin. It does the job I needed to do. It wasn't incredibly expensive, and that's what I use in the boat. There's other type of finders you can use. And these days, these things are getting pretty popular. These are portable fish finders, depth sounders. I really like this for, let's say, if I'm going backpacking, if I'm hiking into a remote location. This product has its own independent power source. You can charge it with a portable power pack of some kind. So really handy if you're going out into the bush. This is the transducer. You can cast it out with a rod. You just cast it out, tie up your line up there, cast it. It'll mark the depth, it'll mark fish. I've used it before in other episodes, so definitely really great purchase. If you want to find the depth and you don't have a fish finder and you're in a tube, you're in a boat, canoe, whatever, really easy way to go and find out. So you tie a weight to your line. You can tie anything with any kind of weight to it. Doesn't have to be a weight. And you just simply count 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth until you get to the bottom, and you'll get a pretty good idea of what the depth is in that particular location anyways. And you can do that around the lake if you want, but honestly, it's a tactic that's been used for a very long time. Pretty simple concept. Weight, line, 1, 2, 3, find that depth, and away you go. Okay, let's get into the gear I was using. We're trolling lures behind a boat. Okay, really slow creep and troll. So what I'm using here is a sinking line and a 5/6 rod that I think this thing came from Canadian Tire, and I believe it was like $100. It was, so anyways, it's definitely not a quality rod. It's more about the line and the fly than the actual rod and reel, because I mean, to be honest with you, we're just trolling this. We're not casting, so we won't have to use a really expensive setup. So this fly line is a number 5 sink, meaning that it sinks approximately 6 inches per second. Now, that's if you're a complete standstill. So we are doing a slow creep and troll with this. So I'm thinking that I'm probably going to be around 10 to 15 feet deep, depending on how fast I go. Now, I can start and stop my boat. So what that does is it'll bring that fly just a little bit deeper. I can kick it up a notch, bring it back up, and using this type of tactic, bring it up and down, is extremely effective, especially when you know where those fish are, if they're deep, if they're shallow, if you're going through shoals that go up and down, drop-offs, this and that. So that's what I'm using for the setup. sinking line, pretty simple setup, just trolling it behind a boat. Never had a bad day using this technique. So as far as leech is concerned, or the flies that you're using, honestly, it doesn't really matter for me. This particular one was hand tied by a friend of mine, and it looks pretty beat up right now because, well, this thing has slayed a lot of fish, so it's pretty beat up. But at the end of the day, I like to go brighter for muddier water conditions, and I'll go with something like a little bit more natural, like a black or a green if the water is extremely clear. So at Beavertail Lake, I was using a green fly with a little brass bead on the head of it. Actually looked a lot like this, except it was green. So simple. There's lots of different patterns out there. Honestly, I've never really had a bad day using any of them. Number two, we're using at Beavertail Lake. It's pretty simple. Just a little Gibbs gang troll, okay? And the good old-fashioned wedding band. Now, you can put a worm on the end of this if you want. We didn't have a worm on the end, and we were still doing quite well with it. We had a big weight, so we were down there. We were fishing approximately 30 feet down, maybe a little bit higher up. I'd say about 20 to 30 feet down we were consistently. The debate is how far should that leader be coming from the gang troll to the wedding band. And yes, I have a little rubber worm on there. I like to use that sometimes. So I like to have about 2 feet. And this does depend on the size of the rod you're using too, because as you get it up next to the boat, you don't want to have 8 feet of leader behind the boat. You won't be able to reach the fish if you're just using a 6-foot rod. So keep that in mind as well. But for me, I like using just about a 2 foot leader to the wedding band and the worm, or just a wedding band if you prefer. Never had a bad day using this technique either. The debate is always going to be, how far is that leader and how much weight do you need to get this thing down to where the fish are? So those are the two tactics we are using. Rig them up, troll them slow, and I'm telling you, no matter what time of year it is, this system will catch you fish.
All right. My boat's never been skunked.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Let's see what we did out there in the water. See you next time. Oh, welcome to the Connie show. Because she's killing it right now.
He's super tiny.
We're going through a massive
Holy
school
shit.
here.
Wow,
Are we going to get a double header here?
that would be funny.
That'd be great if we got a double.
Mm-hmm.